is really quite moving and quite beautiful. It reminded me a lot of Richard Linklater's Before trilogy. But what about the script really drew you both to it?
I mean, I think it's, you know, starting with the way you just referenced. For me, I've always loved those Richard Linklater movies and movies. And I loved Arguri's previous films, Suntan, and I watch foreign movies sometimes more than U.S. films, actually, because I don't know. I love movies that deal with the realism of relationships and how messy they are and how people really get to know each other. And I love that this movie wasn't trying to be some sort of like hand you an ending in a bow, like some romantic comedy of some sort. It was a very sort of realistic kind of, you were a spectator for some time of these two people meeting.
And similarly, well, for me, when I read the script, it was quite, I thought it was super cool and everything, but I was like, yeah, I can't do it. I'd never played a relationship on screen before, and it's very intense. And I was like, I'm not sure. And then I saw Suntan and I was like, oh, I want to work with this guy because bet he'll do something really amazing with his films. His film is beautiful. I just love Arguri's work, and so I wanted to work with him. And then I met Sebastian, and I knew we'd be fine doing it together.
And what was it like for each of you building that rapport with one another off camera before bringing it into the scenes?
Well, it was interesting, right? Because I think we both come from like rehearsing and kind of like spending time breaking down scenes and your typical actor stuff, right? And then I feel like when we got there, Arguri's instead wanted us to just keep going to these dinners, and we're like, why? And we're like, when are we rehearsing? And he'd be like, oh, tomorrow, and then we'd be in another dinner, and then I think we both realized that was the rehearsal, I guess.
We went on a road trip after 2 days of knowing each other. We got in a car with 4 people we hadn't met a couple of weeks previous. I had been there a week longer than Sebastian had been, so I had a little more time. But we got in a car for 4 hours and drove to the producer's, what did we call it? It's like a village that he owns or something.
Yeah.
Went there for 3 days. And now I look back and I think, oh, I think you said it, Sebastian, where it was like, oh, that was the work. It was really clever, the way he kept going, don't worry, we'll do that. Because I thought we were going to sit down and kind of do the scenes. And then because I had done a improvised film before, I was like, oh, I see. It's not, we're just hanging out, but there's something deeper going on, which meant that when we sort of started as a twosome that had been hanging out, didn't know each other very well, but it was helpful to what we had to then do together. Would have been weird if we had been all that.
And also, it got us so close with Arguri's, which is again why at the end of the movie it was so sad. Like the way they filmed over there is everyone's involved, like from hair and makeup to the crew to the lighting. They all know each other. They're all spending time together as they're making it and then offset. And then everybody was sad when it was over because of
devastated. It took me so, it was like I said, it was the first time I'd ever done anything like this. I'd never partnered in a film before. When I left, at the end I just thought we should all live together in a big house in Greece. I started learning the language. I was like, I'm Greek now, everything, this is it, right? We have all found each other, it's perfect. I was kind of spat back into my life going, what was that?
Oh my God, that's so fun.
I've learned so much about how to, I think I was like, oh, maybe I'm sort of more method than method, where I just live in it so hard that then when I come out, I'm like, I don't know who I am. So it took me a while, but when I got to watch the film the first time, I was a bit like defensive or something, but now watching it, oh man, that was just...
Yeah. Especially now.
Oh, especially now. We danced so hard.
Just pure, innocent, romantic. Just love at first sight.
It was, actually.